I'm Debbie Lochner, and I'm going to share with you two of my daughter's favorite picture books. Quiet Bunny, written and illustrated by McCue, and Dog's Noisy Day, written and illustrated by Dodd. They each have a character on their own, setting up on their own sound adventure. They're similar stories presented in different ways with very different results. I'm going to compare and contrast them to explore the assertion from children's literature scholar and textbook author Perry Nodelman that children have limited understanding and short attention spans. His faulty assumption underestimates the intelligence of children. Restricting their options in such things as literature limits and potentially slows their development. Contrary to his assumption, we need to challenge children with books of advancing level that will expand their understanding and their attention spans. In Dog's Noisy Day, we have saturated colors, bright colored cartoons. The animals in the farmyard pictures are drawn with simple black lines and vivid colors. You can see there are full 2-page spreads with little depth, little shadow, and little detail. The text is large and bold, and it's a simple story. This book supports Nodelman's assumption. It's presented for the very youngest child without challenging them. On the other hand, the Quiet Bunny takes us on a visual journey. There are warm hues, realistic settings. The colors are lightly saturated. There's depth and detail to the pictures. If you look closely, you can see individual leaves, blades of grass, ladybugs. This kind of detail invites inspection by the children. I hope you're able to pick that up from the video. McCue uses basic black font set in a straightforward way, but large colored text for the animal sounds in the pictures. As opposed to Dog's simple art, she uses multi-layered textures in depth in her illustrations. This challenges the child to spend time, and that will expand the child's attention span, countering Nodelman's assumption. On a literary level, Dog's Noisy Day is told from the point of view of the dog. He's a lively character with a simple story and simple language. He wakes up with a yawn and heads off on his day to the farm and visit the other animals. It's a fun read-along story, and the kids want to chime in, baa and quack and moo. The dog wants to imitate the rooster, says woofle woofle woo. At the end of the day, he says goodbye to his noisy friends and heads back home to the sound he loves most, the clanging of the dinner dish. This book is fun and interactive, but not challenging. It's not set up to develop the minds of children. It's written in Dodd's style. It's straightforward and it's linear. On the other hand, in Quiet Bunny, McCue states that she worked with a speech pathologist to create an interactive story that targets sounds that are instrumental for early speech development and pre-reading skills. She says, "I was amazed to learn how prevalent issues with speech development is." She spoke in an interview with Publishers Weekly, went on to say that she discovered 1 out of every 3 children has speech development issues, and it's crucial to catch this early, since otherwise it can delay development in other areas, including spelling and reading. This book incorporates the sounds of the forest animals into the story of a bunny on his own personal quest to find a voice to add to the night song. In Quiet Bunny, McCue uses a poetic lyrical language to capture the children's imagination. First the crickets, ch-chee, ch-chee, then the owl, hoo-hoo, the snake, the mosquitoes, the bullfrogs, the wolf howling at the moon. She goes through the stories and the pictures, engaging the child, encouraging them to imitate and to scrutinize the pictures. She worked to pull together the sounds and message into a story that would appeal to children. She says, "I knew this had to be a fun book kids would want to hear or read over and over, or it wouldn't be successful as a practice tool in terms of learning the sounds." McCue's literary style is not complex or overly simple. She uses straightforward language and graceful rhythm. In Quiet Bunny, she illustrates Nodelman's concept of joy songs, the bliss-making pleasure of experiencing the sounds and images in and for themselves. By the end of the book, Quiet Bunny gets some advice from a wise friend. It says, be who you are, and you will find your own voice. Bunny finds his voice and is able to add sound to the night sounds. It's a lesson to the audience: be true to yourself and find a means of self-expression. At this point in history, children need to be recognized as people. They need to consider the roads that they'll navigate through in their lives. Their books must inspire imagination and teach valuable life lessons. McCue explains, over and over again, I have emphasized to my children the importance of being yourself. Kids feel as though they'll be ostracized if they aren't like everyone else, so they easily lose sight of who they are. Be who you are has become a catchphrase in our family. The layers of depth of illustrations in Quiet Bunny and the built-in speech development for preschoolers dispel Nodelman's cultural assumption that children have limited understanding and short attention spans. As I've shown, some children, like Dog's Noisy Days, are meant especially for younger children, to entertain them and to encourage a love of books and of reading. Others, like Quiet Bunny, challenge the child, presenting advancing language, concepts, and visuals to encourage understanding and advance intelligence and attention, to counter Nodelman's assumption that children have limited understanding and limited attention span.